Hello YouTube, this is Satsu 5 testing out some interesting products. This is the Vanguard Wearables Backripper Tomahawk. It's an everyday carry self-defense tomahawk. And what we're really going to be testing in this test is the Backripper. This is not razor sharp, it's not meant to be razor sharp, but it's meant so like if someone gets in your arc of travel that you can come around and rip. So we're going to see how good that ripping action is, and for the comparison we got the combat something pocket axe. I'd have to put in the title or the description what it's called, but this is the closest thing to a EDC tomahawk that I could find to compare the two. This one has a small chisel cutting edge right here, and then a chisel cutting edge at the bottom. If you can call it a beard, it's the beard. You want to be doing the same thing, it's just dragging it across. So some things, this comes with a sheath system, which is right here. It's not the most intuitive thing to do, you have to train with it, but I'll get into how to deploy this later. But right now we're just testing. Your main weapon, your main forward edge weapon is for the head, and then you got lights out. But let's just say someone actually gets past your head, that's when you come around and you rip. So let's see what happens. I felt it sink in, but it's not really cutting.
You're hooked. I mean, oh, you're gonna rip it out.
Uh-oh. All right, what we have here, we taped it back up. We have a very wide puncture wound. And now this is called the Backripper. It's not really, we're not really gonna be dealing with a bunch of thick meat, but that's what I normally test on. But can you get around there? That's kind of the travel.
Okay, so it did pierce through and through.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're gonna try it again. But before we try it again, we're gonna try this out because I have a little bit more control of where I'm cutting, and with the Backripper, I'm actually gonna try more of a swing. So let's get started. Remember, this part is sharp or sharpish, and we're gonna put right here, and it's kind of, there we go. You get more of a cut. It wanted to pull it out of the tape, but you get more of a cutting action. So the way I see this being used is someone has their hand out and you kind of grab the hand and pull down really vigorously. I guess you could come around and cut, but just for the sake of comparing like to like, this is what we're trying. And let's try the Backripper again with a... All right, here's the Backripper. For take 2, we're gonna try a slightly different method. Keep in mind, this is called the Backripper, not the back slicer. But I'm gonna try more of a kind of a pop. Let's see what happens. It didn't really do too much, and it's pulling out of the tape. Let's try one more time. So, I can't really see what's going on.
It just barely went in.
Okay, so cutting a backlock thing might be a little bit easier, but we're trying on pork loin. I think that's it. I think that's all the testing I want to do. I really like the Backripper. You know, I think it'll be very devastating with a headshot, and if someone wants to, you know, go back to back and scrape, I think you'll get a good bit of pain compliance, and who knows, you might actually touch a nerve. But you're not going to get a big slicing action, at least with my testing. So that's a pork loin's trying to fall out. So that's a little bit disappointing, but hey, that's why we test. I want to see what this can do, and I might try getting a rack of ribs later and seeing if this works a little bit differently, because it'll be a little bit closer to the anatomy of ribs or to back. But that's it, and we'll do some more testing with the 2 tomahawks. All right, we're gonna try just a little snap cut into the meat. try that again. All right, now we're gonna try with the pocket axe, and that is a Endura, forgive me. I should be able to identify a knife and a pocket axe. Has a quote-unquote beard, but got a little bit more slicing action done with it. Again, this is more of a headshot thing, and this is, I guess, a little bit more soft tissue friendly or unfriendly, depending on your point of view. All right, we got 2 coconuts. This is gonna be our head simulators. And we got the close quarters EDA voting axe tomahawk thing. You don't have a lot of reach with this, but it's kind of hefty. And we're gonna see if it will split a coconut. With our previous test, this did a little bit better on soft tissue. This did a little bit better on hard objects. But let's see what happens. Kind of glanced off. And I'm doing this against the grain. I'm doing that on purpose. Now I have kind of a little shelf. Get this foot out of the way.
Oh, wait.
Still locks up tight. There's the lockup. And there's absolutely no wiggle. And you can still deploy it. So with some effort, I was able to get some penetration into the skull.
What do you think did better, that or the Raja?
Raja all the way.
It's all head.
Raja not only gives you a little bit, penetration capability, it gives you great chopping capability, and it gives you substantially more reach. This, I thought it would give you more reach than a standard folding knife, but look at that.
Let's see, butt to butt. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, there's that, and wow.
So you're really not getting a whole lot of advantages with this other than potentially hooking and pulling through and cutting. So that's that. By the way, this is the Cold Steel Recon 1 4-inch model. This is the one I've been most excited to test, and this is an odd-shaped coconut. This is a rather expensive tomahawk, handmade, hand-forged, hand-hung, and this is really meant to go into the skull. And obviously I'm not going to be able to withdraw it too easily because there's nothing anchoring this, but we're going to see if the tomahawk survives. There's no reason why it shouldn't survive, but I would like to know. So, well, withdrawing is not going to be an issue. I kind of wanted to get more than one cut. I mean, it's awesome that I got one cut. That's very good and very important, but I just kind of want to try this again. That is awesome. So we got a clear distinction. This on skull type objects, hard objects, bone, the skull is going to do a lot better than this. This tends to actually slice a little bit better, and so but still you're not getting a lot of advantages compared to a standard folding knife. So that's it. I'm quite pleased with this. I'm ready to do a tabletop and talk a little bit more in depth with it. Thank you for watching. I'm a Satsu 5 and I'm out. All right, this is what we got going on. This is a concealed full-size tomahawk, or full-size 18th century tomahawk. It's kind of what it's based off of. There's the sheath system. You got these clips that go on your belt. Basically how you draw this, and this is going to take some practice, is you use your thumb and you press this out, and then you pull up, drag your hand down, and you're ready to actually get to business. And the main advantage this thing has over knives, if you are considering a tomahawk, is that this is going to have a lot more instant lights out capability compared to a knife, which you know, isn't going to have as much of that instant, you know, I can't snap lights out. But it is a little bit difficult, and in order to put it back in a sheath, you have to unclip it and put it back in its sheath like that. And this part usually confuses me a little bit. There we go. And again, this is clipped on, and you just flip that, and this is caught on your pants, and you pull up. And you have a lot of firepower and a lot of speed compared to the Baskin style tomahawks. But I'll talk more in detail in the review itself. So that's it. I'm a Satsu 5.